And welcome everyone to another edition of Real Talk on 92.5 WLSD The Vault on Friday, December 6th. And I'm excited about tonight's show. We're going to be diving into a movie called The Disaster Artist. Join me tonight is David. David, thank you for joining.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good.
And you said you never had seen this before, had you?
I hadn't heard of it.
Okay.
I really hadn't, and it blows my mind because I like James Franco and Dave Franco both.
Right.
Like a lot.
So this one just slipped under the radar and
Yeah.
you just didn't know.
And yeah, because like I was saying whenever I walked in, I know that they do quite a bit, where they're brothers.
Right.
In real life, they do a lot of movies together. And I have no idea. I've never heard of this one.
Okay, and it's not that old of a movie, really, 2017. So not that long ago.
Let's see.
So before we get into tonight's show, please go to all the social media. That's the Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, The Other People's Show. Like and subscribe tonight. Hey, Pam. Thank you for tuning in. And let's dive right in. So this is about when aspiring actor Greg meets this weird and mysterious Tommy Wiseau in an acting class. They form a unique friendship and travel to Hollywood to make their dreams come true. And that's the basic premise in a nutshell, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Okay. So going into this movie tonight, did you know anything really about it at all?
No.
Except just
nothing.
the cast?
Yeah.
So you never heard
any...
any...
Like whenever you sent me the message, this is, how's this sound?
I think I just sent a poster, didn't I?
Yeah, you sent me the poster, and I was like, James Franco, Dave Franco, and Seth Rogen. I was like, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I was like, that. And then, I'm watching the movie, and then I'm watching all this cast come on, and I'm like, Jesus. I was like, this is one of those stacked movies, just
Yes.
like this is the end.
Yeah.
Pineapple Express.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I guess James Franco's just got a knack for he's like, I'm really going to stack my movies. I guess people just like sticking by him.
Yeah, being his friends in movies,
Yeah.
basically. It's like a lot of Adam Sandler movies have a lot of the same kind of people, if you've noticed over the years.
Yep.
So, this was directed by James Franco as well. And James Franco, he's been in over 153 productions on his IMDb page.
Wow.
Some of those movies are This Is the End, Pineapple Express, Spring Breakers, 127 Hours, Your Highness, and there's many others.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
With Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. Now I think those Spider-Man movies are kind of what started the comic book age as we know it. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah.
Because before those Spider-Mans, were there any? I'd seen a couple of low-budget Spider-Man movies, but
yeah, and then you had Lou Ferrigno Hulk movie
Right.
or a series, stuff like that. But
I'd forgotten about that. But yeah,
no, I thought once Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man came out, then it was just a whole thing for adults and kids.
Yeah.
I believe just about every kid in America's like, I'm Spider-Man.
yeah. I was doing that, and I was 20.
I mean, yeah, I can't say much. I had one of those, those little table sets you could get. It was like it'd have like matching chairs with it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom had got me one of those, and it was a Spider-Man one. I love that thing to death. I think I probably had it for like 7 or 8 years.
Was that your favorite comic book character, Spider-Man?
No, I never really read comic books too much. Once I found out about anime, I read manga.
Okay. Now I had comics as a kid, but I didn't actually read them.
No,
I sometimes had them and I kept them in sleeves. And
Jeremiah
I never
was the comic book kid. Let me tell you, every time I went to his house, those little plastic shelvings that you can get, pretty thick drawers, can hold a lot in them.
Yeah.
He had like 5 or 6 of those, just absolutely stacked full. Every single shelf. He had like little suitcases in his closet.
Yeah.
Full of them.
So nothing but comic books.
Yeah.
I wonder where Jeremiah is tonight. I wonder he
you
didn't
know, I
have
don't know,
another bad turkey dinner, did he?
I absolutely have no idea because it's crazy because he was also like that with baseball cards too.
Yeah, I used to have a lot of those too. A lot of those cards. So this movie, now, like I said, this was directed by James Franco.
Yeah.
And he has directed over 37 movies or short films, some of those being mostly low budget, Zeroville and Dubious Battle, and 35 others. But so James Franco is no stranger to being on the movie set.
No.
And this is a movie about pretty much making a movie, following your dreams.
Yeah, like they when it comes down to it, they literally full sent. They were two students.
Yeah,
you
two
know,
acting students.
Yeah, two acting. Yeah, and
not even filmmaking students, just
and
acting students.
And it went from
Hey Shane,
like, hey, let's go to Hollywood.
Yeah, let's go down there. Let's make it. Let's make it.
And then Tommy's character, he's not making it too much, or
yeah, he shows a little bit of jealousy. Now this
a lot
movie,
of jealousy. I almost thought it was going to turn towards maybe him having some like strong feelings.
Right. Like at the beginning, because it kind of leads you to believe.
Yeah, because like once he got the girlfriend, he was like, whatever, like who are you?
And even his mom.
Like, yeah.
So we'll set it up for we'll get into this in just a second. But I was going through a lot of the cast. You had mentioned a lot of the cast, and like this has a who's who of cast members. You've got Dave Franco, James Franco, Seth Rogen. You've got Alison Brie. You've got Zac Efron's in it. Josh Hutcherson.
Yeah, Hutcherson. Yeah.
He was in Hunger
Games.
Hunger Games.
But you might more notably know him before that from Zathura.
Yes. I knew there was like a kid movie that I'd seen him in.
Yeah, it was almost like
that's a pretty good movie.
The Jumanji based game, except they're out in space.
You've got Judd Apatow, Bob Odenkirk, Hannibal Buress. Melanie Griffith, she plays the teacher at the very beginning. Sharon Stone plays Greg's agent. So, and you've got a lot of other people that just pop in that you might know their face, but maybe not their name.
Yeah.
Kristen Bell's in it. Adam Scott, Kevin Smith, Lizzie Kaplan, Danny McBride, J.J. Abrams. I guess it's Bryan Cranston. He makes a little appearance in there. So there's a lot of
absolutely
people.
A lot of people, really important people.
Yeah, people that like you said, like I to be honest with you, I'd only seen this movie once before, but there was a book that this particular movie is based on, called The Disaster Artist, and I'd read that book.
Yeah.
So we'll get into some facts, and then we'll dive right into the movie. So in the original movie, The Room, Greg had no interest in acting in the movie at all. He had only originally intended to serve as the film's line producer, and Tommy Wiseau has cast a different actor to play Mark.
Yeah.
So the night before filming, Wiseau spontaneously decided that he wanted Greg to play the role. So Greg reluctantly accepted the role after he was guaranteed a pay raise and a new car. Rather than telling the original actor that he had been replaced, Tommy Wiseau had him come to the set and perform his scene for weeks, but instructed the camera crew not to roll any film whatsoever.
That is so dirty.
Yes, but if you watch this movie or know anything about Tommy Wiseau, this seems like something he would do.
Yeah.
Like it, because as you witnessed in the movie, he did a lot of unnecessary things.
And everybody, something. They keep like,
Rose.
they're like, where does he come from? Where are you from? And it's like, and even at the end, it's like, they never found out where he's from. He gives off a very, very Dutch.
Yes. And in real life, to this very day, no one really knows where he's from or his true age. They don't know. Or where he gets his money from. Now, I've done some research because he's independently wealthy in the movie. Yeah. And in real life as well.
Yeah, man, dropped over $6 million on his own freaking movie.
Yes. When in reality, he could have only probably spent $3 million because he bought double the equipment.
Yeah.
He didn't need double the lights. He built sets when there was the alleyway right next door.
Yeah.
Or, so.
Yeah, and that's he wanted real, and that would have made it so much more real.
Yes. That would be like, all right, David, we're going to go out and film this scene for the horror movie out here in the sidewalk. But instead of that sidewalk, I've had some people build a sidewalk that looks just like that sidewalk. So that would just be extra expense and time. So,
Yeah.
but Tommy gets it done, though. He does get it done. Another fact is Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill were early devoted fans of this movie, The Room. At one point, Jonah Hill saw Tommy Wiseau at a grocery store in Los Angeles and was so starstruck that he secretly took out his phone and took a picture that he immediately sent to Seth Rogen. So, because this guy, I guess it's like a myth, because like I was telling you beforehand, I would go to the East Street Cinema in downtown D.C. often, and to this independent cinema,
Yeah.
and just watch kind of smaller movies, smaller based movies. Mm-hmm. And there would always be a poster of Tommy Wiseau's face, which is at the end of this movie, The Disaster Artist. And I would often wonder, what is this? Because I'd never heard of it before.
You know,
I never heard of the guy before.
It is a poster you would absolutely walk by and you'd be like, oh, what is this?
What is this?
You're like, The Room, huh?
And as soon as you see the poster, you'll remember it for the rest of your
So
life.
I wonder where he came up with that name, because like the little clips you see, you know, from the movie you watch, you don't get no feeling that it's like The Room.
Like, why is it called The Room?
Yeah.
Like, is there a room? Like, did you even get a sense to what the real movie The Room was about from this movie? No. Not really, did you? I've never seen the original.
It almost comes off soap.
Now, the clips are on YouTube of The Room.
Yeah.
I think The Room is all on there in clips as well. And I've seen certain clips like in this movie, The Disaster Artist, where they're reenacting the scene where he's like, I didn't touch her. No, I didn't. And then he throws down the water bottle and is like, oh, hey.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark. Now, I've seen that particular scene from The Room.
Yeah.
But if you watch the end of this movie, they show some of the real scenes.
Yep. You know,
side by side.
yes.
Yeah. And they're identical.
Very identical, except, you know, I think, you know, I guess just to bring their own feel to it, I guess there's some parts that themselves are like in the movie we watched, you know, they're like either a little slower, a little faster in the original dialogue.
Right.
But, you know, to be expected, it's not.
I wonder, that would be like, I thought about that. They did a remake of Psycho in 1998. They did, the original Alfred Hitchcock version, and then they did the Psycho version, the remake in 98, but it was exactly the same as the 1960s. Huh. But it was in color and different actors. And I wonder, it would be easy, you could be like, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to set the camera up this way, have the actor stand this way, have all this. But that would seem like it would be very time-consuming, getting it shot for shot like this other movie you're trying to do. And so I really thought they did a great job in this movie as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Now, we will have to watch The Room soon.
Crazy, yeah. We will. I was literally thinking, I was like, I was watching those ending clips. I was like, we're literally going to have to cover this on the radio one day.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because it's unique. It's a unique movie. It's not, it doesn't come down to the matter whether it's good or bad. It's unique.
Yes.
And
it's
what
very
makes it
memorable.
worth covering.
Yeah, I
very
agree
memorable.
with you.
Yes, because I see.
It already seems memorable, and we've never watched it.
Exactly. I'm like, I want to go home right now and watch it. But
I'm sure I'm sure it's got to be streaming somewhere. So James Franco recalled one time driving to Los Angeles after 2003 and seeing a giant billboard for the film that Tommy Wiseau had rented for 5 years. Franco said he initially thought it might be a cult because of the phone number on the billboard. But the phone number would go to Tommy Wiseau's apartment. And if he was there, there would be a recording talking about the room where it was showing. But if Tommy happened to be there when that phone rang, he would answer the caller and tell the caller where the movie was playing.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool. This movie cost $10 million. And I can understand how it did that because it's got so many people. And
he has so many people and so much equipment.
Yes.
I wonder how much of that equipment he ended up not actually using.
I know, or at least a half.
And then that's the thing, he didn't even rent it. He bought that all.
Yes.
He owns all that.
Yes. And he didn't make another, as far as I know, he didn't make another movie. You own this equipment And you're not going to make another movie?
Maybe he's renting it out now. Maybe, I mean, who knows? Because, in the movie, I know obviously everything's, dramatized.
Yeah.
But like, there's that one bank scene where he's like, hey, do you want it on 20s? Because trust me, it's a bottomless pit.
Right.
I'm like, Jesus. Okay, so, and I don't, literally anytime, dude asks him, like any question about it, he's like, don't ask, about me or to tell people or, I'm like.
Yeah, don't talk about me or my
don't
background.
Don't talk about me and my, what's going. He's like, don't talk about my car.
Because he lies about his age. He never does come out and say his age, but.
He's like, I am your age.
Yes.
I was born in the same year as you. And that's the thing. It doesn't even reveal that they even talked about whether or not he knew when Mark's birthday was.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So this movie cost $10 million.
You know what I mean?
Greg,
yeah. Mark is the character he plays.
Right. So it made $21 million in America, worldwide $29.8. So it was a financial success. James Franco had won a Golden Globe as Best Actor for this role in 2017. It's got a 91% positive on Rotten Tomatoes, a high audience score, 85%, and 7.3 on IMDb.
And very, very, very reasonable ratings. That was a really good movie.
I agree. I did have something. We'll have to do it next time. I had some things for us to do when Jeremiah's here for all three of us.
Uh-oh.
Some Bean Boozled. And I don't know if you remember, but I mentioned a candy bar that I had one time.
Oh, Jesus. The Slime Liquor chocolate.
Remember me telling you it was that barrel that toxic?
Yeah.
So I'll leave it down here. Now, I did try these last night, the Bean Boozled. 4 of them.
Ouch.
And 2 were pretty good tasting and 2 weren't good. So I'll leave those here for next time. But, so yeah, you want to get into the plot and the story of this movie? So we set up the basic plot. You got 2 aspiring actors. Mm-hmm. They live in San Francisco, and they want to go to Los Angeles and try their hand at becoming famous.
We got 2 actors who start out as complete strangers.
Yes.
In an acting school.
And it seems from this movie that they all this happened relatively pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because his mom gets kind of
his mom's like,
alarmed.
Who is this? What? And she like starts questioning the dude. And she was like, her are you, lady? And my favorite part is whenever he's about to drive away, he's like, man, you're crazy.
Yes. I think that whole sequence is funny because she's like, yeah, and I just turned 14, and he was like, happy birthday.
Oh yeah, it's your happy birthday. Yeah. He does. He gives off Dutch, and I swear, as much as he wants, he wants to try to say he's from the Bayou,
hey, Jared.
New Orleans. The man is definitely, without a doubt, he's somewhere from the Netherlands.
He has to be. He has to be. And have you actually? Did it show at the end of the movie the real Tommy how he sounds?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he sounds pretty much like.
Yeah,
James Franco,
James Franco had it down.
They're like perfect. Because I'd seen some of the scenes of The Room before this movie, many years ago, and then when I saw James Franco do the voice, I was like, "Damn, that's good.
It really is
really good." So you've got these 2 strangers basically, and they become friends because
quick friends. And
Greg is shy,
and
pretty much, and timid. And Tommy is not at all.
No.
He doesn't really care what anyone thinks.
No, because they start reading the scripts in the diner, and, Greg's like, Tommy, he's like, what are you doing, man? He's like, I don't want to do this. He's like, what about the people? It's so and Tommy's just like, these people, they don't matter.
Yes.
Just, be you. We're here reading our scripts. They don't care. I don't care about them. Like, you want to do this, we're going to do this.
Right. And then Tommy ends up giving... Honestly, Greg, in my opinion, Greg the confidence to not only... Because Greg lands an agent pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah.
He lands... Like, it seems... It's from the movie anyway. This is just going by the movie. He seems to land the first agent that he goes to.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. That's what I was getting from the movie as the first agent.
That's what I thought so, too. Because it seemed to come pretty easy to him. and that started building. I think Tommy was getting a little bit jealous at that point too.
Yeah.
Because Tommy didn't get the agent.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Tommy never really he lets him. He gets annoyed by it, but he still likes Greg though. Even though he, like you said earlier, you kind of think if you don't know the way this movie is going to go, you think that he could be maybe coming on to Greg, or maybe has feelings for Greg.
Yeah, see, I did. There was one point I got that. I thought that he was going to end up coming out to Greg like, hey, like, this is all hurting. I thought, man, you could be a good thing. This is supposed to be us. We're supposed to do this together.
And there was even one point in there when they first go to Tommy's apartment where Greg he says something like, "Oh, so where is there another bedroom?" And then Tommy says something like, "Oh, you don't want to share the bedroom with me," or something like that. And then Greg, there's an awkward pause, and then Tommy starts laughing.
Yeah, of course you have the bed, and I take the couch.
I like Tommy's laugh too. I like the way he did that laugh. I thought he did a good job there.
It was all around a really good movie, and the plot was pretty good. Just the idea of, them moving in together and just full sending from San Francisco to Los Angeles to try to be actors, just to end up making a movie together. So
they end up not getting. What I'm trying to remember, what drives Tommy to start writing the script? Is it where he's not getting any roles? Is that what's going on?
Where he wasn't getting any roles, so
or they just want him to be like a Dracula or, a villain.
Well,
or Frankenstein.
Well, what it was is like he always wanted to be like the hero in the movie, the good guy, the favorable character, if you will, and he had that teacher tell him, while he's at Los Angeles, or not teacher, I guess it was casting director, maybe.
Yeah.
As he was telling him, he's like, you're the villain, you're the bad guy, you look like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And stuff like, he was like, it's not even just about how you're acting, it's the way you look. And then, like, I guess he was giving off some bad vibes, so Greg had talked to him about it. And, he's like, well, if you're having a hard time getting anything, and he's like, if people don't like you, he's like, well, why don't you write your own movie?
And then he does.
And he's like, that's a good idea. He's like, let's do it.
So Tommy does have a lot of ambition.
Yeah.
Because
very ambitious.
Yes. And
for somebody with already a lot of money to be able to like throw into like stocks or something and be able to sit around, he would rather be up and actually doing something.
Yeah. Trying to make a dream. Like his dream, It was like he had the money, so his dream was, a lot of people want to be famous for money or for fame, but it seemed like they wanted to do it because that was the dream to do it.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to me like they were just chasing fame or money. It was like an actual real dream. Like, I want to create, I want to accomplish this.
Yeah, especially for Tommy.
Yeah. Yeah. So he sits down, he writes The Room.
He likes Shakespeare a lot.
Yes. Yes. And then he puts, him and Greg are at a diner again, and then he gives Greg the script, and then he wants Greg to read it right in front of him while he's sitting there.
Yeah. It took him, I think, what was it, 6 months?
Yeah.
8 months, something like that?
Yeah.
It was 6 or 8 months to write that script.
And then he did it.
Because whenever him and Greg meet up in that diner, Greg's, got the whole beard. Mustache, goatee thing going on. Like,
the lumberjack look.
Yeah.
But Greg, right away, is very appreciative of when Tommy says, I want you to play the role.
Yeah.
Like Greg, obviously, we just read the facts that really happened in real life. But yeah, in the movie, he's really appreciative, really wants to do it, and he's pretty happy initially. And then we get into the things that Tommy does, like buying the equipment instead of renting the equipment.
Yeah, because the whole conversation having guys are like, they look at each other and like, is this dude serious about buying this equipment right now?
Yeah, because if you go to a production house, typically you'll go in and you'll rent whatever equipment you need for the movie.
Yeah.
And Tommy goes in, and not only does he not know exactly what he's shooting in, so he wants to shoot in high definition and scope or whatever they say in the movie.
I think they called it 35.
35, yeah. So 35 and then HD. So instead of choosing one or the other, Tommy
He said both.
both. So that means double lights, double everything, double
Yeah.
sound person, and he doesn't rent it. He
Buys
just
it all.
buys it, and he seems to buy like the guys that own the place because they come along.
It looks like he basically just buys the store that the equipment is housed in.
Yes,
Because they came up with the deal that, that he's like, okay, you can buy equipment just as long as you shoot this movie, at our place.
right. And then the
And
next scene, it seems like that's when Seth Rogen comes in.
Yeah.
And some of these other characters and stuff, they come in as well. So,
Script directors and
right.
what have you.
So, did you have a favorite? I don't know if do we want to give away the whole plot? It's on HBO Max. I have the DVD of this actually, but it's on Max right now, and I don't know. Do we want to give away more of what happens, or let the audience discover it? Because I think there's some pretty funny parts in this movie.
There is one more thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
That part where after Tommy basically ruins it for Greg to play that part on Malcolm.
Yeah. And he makes him shave the beard.
Yeah, and they shoot that scene out in the field like they were throwing football together that first time.
Yeah.
I wonder what they did with that.
Within the movie The Room?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I will say this. I have seen that part of The Room where they're throwing the football in tuxes.
Yeah, see, there is that part, where it's like the four guys in the tuxes throwing, but there's that scene that Tommy and Greg were filming together, where they're just out in the field. It's just those two supposed to be throwing a football, and Greg keeps trying to tell Tommy, he's like, man, don't. He's like, let's not do this. He's like, we're not going to do this.
Right before they get into the big argument?
Yeah. Yeah, right before they get into the big argument, yeah.
Because that's when Greg pretty much lets
Snaps,
lets it all come out. We know you're in your probably 40s, all this stuff.
Where's your money? Where are you actually from?
Yeah.
Like, this man with this accent says he's from
New Orleans.
from the Bayou. But since I felt really bad for Tommy right there.
I did too.
I was like, dang,
there's a couple
brother's
points.
just trying to fulfill a dream.
There's a couple points when they're in, where are they? The restaurant, and he goes up to Judd Apatow, and Apatow's like, "You'll never make it in this town. You'll never make it in the." He's harsh. He's harsh to Tommy, and that probably, if that would have happened to a lot of people,
that right there is what set it off for Tommy to want to write his own movie.
It wasn't because that guy told him, "You won't make it." Because he approaches him while he's sitting there eating dinner.
Yeah,
or
and he even
like
tried
that.
to tell him like, "Yo, hey, dude, you can't do this while people are just eating. Like, get a hold of my agency." And he just kept on and on, anyways.
Right. So Judd Apatow just goes off on him, but yeah, that's the catalyst that I guess that's the end of the first act going into the second. That's what propels the rest of the writing of the script. So Tommy does, like we said, write the script, and it's never really, from what I gather, when people are reading the script must not be that bad, because people don't seem to react bad to the script until
it shows his butt.
Yes. Now I'd forgotten that it shows his butt multiple times, and it made me chuckle, especially at the end of the movie. They go to the screening of the movie, like the premiere, and whenever that scene comes up on screen, the audience's reaction, everybody's like, "Oh, oh," and I'm sure that's probably how it was in real life too, because at one point, this is near the end as well, or during the screening, Tommy goes into the movie, and this is where I think Tommy is a very inspirational figure. He takes all these bad things that happened to him and kind of turns them around. Like the screening, everybody starts laughing.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Tommy sitting there. And he doesn't look real happy that everybody's laughing.
No, well, because he does mention in the movie he doesn't like comedies.
Right. Right. So when he gets up there at the very
Yeah.
end, he puts his hands out like that, and he was like, we've all seen, you've seen my vision
Yeah,
to make the greatest comedy or something, doesn't
yeah,
he?
he was like, this was a comedy, and this is this is my movie and how it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Because this is
But
my
yeah,
movie.
hey.
This is my life.
Yeah, that was at the beginning.
Was that at the beginning?
Yeah, like just right before they played his movie for the screening.
Okay. So he's able to take when he's getting laughed at or ridiculed or made fun of, and he's able to take it and turn it around into like a positive thing.
Yeah.
Because The Room in real life cost $5 to $6 million.
Yeah, it was something over $6 million, and apparently just its first weekend only made 1,800.
Yes, but now it's made 6 or 7 million over the course of the time that it's been out. So it's made, and it's been going for. I don't even know exactly when the movie The Room came out. To be honest with you, exactly. I think it was in the 2000s.
Yeah.
2003.
That's what I was going to say. That's I believe that was on the itinerary actually
Is it?
somewhere. Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it says right here, in actuality, Greg Sestero had no interest in acting in The Room 2003 and originally only intended to serve as the film's line producer.
So going on 22 years ago. And so the movie's made its money back, and Tommy's been in other things, but I think he he's not your traditional actor or movie star. You're always going to see Tommy the person. So did you have any favorite character in this movie?
I mean, definitely Tommy. I know it sounds a little cliche, but definitely Tommy. I mean,
you kind of have to in this, because I mean, was there? I don't even know if there's a scene in this movie without Tommy in it.
No,
if so, there's not many.
Just like I see here, the agency scene, where Greg's meeting his agent,
right?
For like literally, he's there to get meet her to see if he can get it, and she's like, don't go nowhere else. You're mine.
Right.
That was his first place, because I remember him telling her like, yeah, this is the first place I've been.
Yep.
Whether we knew if he went somewhere before or not, we don't know. But he did say that was his first one, so it's the only thing we've got to go off of.
True.
But no, yeah. See that scene. No, there's really not much.
Not many, is there? So Tommy, I agree with you. Tommy has to be one of the favorite characters because not only because of the character himself, because he's mysterious, he has that accent, and that accent just makes me
like literally, it really plays off like the accent from the Dutch from The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, like you would almost think, like if I heard that in real life, somebody face to face, I would almost think that they're trying to do an accent.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Like they're trying to fake an accent, but they're not doing a good job.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, in my mind, why are they doing that accent?
But it turns in actuality, that's just their accent.
That's just their accent. What about a favorite or least favorite scene?
Definitely my favorite scene was definitely whenever Tommy and Greg are driving away from Greg's mother, and he just literally pokes at them. He's like, "Man, you're crazy."
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was literally my favorite, probably my favorite scene. Just
I like that whole little interaction. I like the interaction where Tommy's auditioning for these two people, and then they're like, "What? Where's that accent from?" And he was like, "I think he says New Orleans the first time, or maybe
he tries to say New Orleans, but you don't quite.
No,
it's not what you quite get out of his mouth."
And then they're like, "Okay, try it again without the accent," and he tries it again, and you can barely understand anything that he says.
Yeah,
which made me laugh. And then the scene where there's a couple touching scenes in the movie, like you said. When Greg goes off on Tommy and kind of unloads all the verbal ammunition.
Greg was really very supporting.
Yeah,
like very supporting to Tommy, because even at the premiere, whenever Tommy walks out, upset that everybody's like laughing at his movie and whatnot. You know, Greg goes out there and it's like, look, dude, like people are enjoying this. What are you upset about?
Yeah,
like, they love your movie.
Yes,
that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to make a movie that people would enjoy. That's what's going on.
That's what
here.
you've
like,
done.
Check it out. Dude.
Now, how would that be? Do you think? I've tried to put myself in that situation. Like, if you make something and it's perceived, like people enjoy it, but they not the way you thought they would.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna hurt a little bit, but it's like, you know, the dream is to make something people's gonna enjoy
And remember,
and if that's where you had to start, you know, everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah. Well, it was like, I don't know if it was in the movie or a review or something I was watching about the movie. And they were talking about, you know, if you watch The Room, you're going to remember The Room. But you might not even remember, you know, what movie won, you know, the Academy Award in 2003.
Yeah.
But you're going to remember that you've seen The Room. You know, just that. So we definitely have to watch The Room.
I mean, Tommy's definitely a very strange man because, like, making something like that and it, you know, it's the success it is now. You know, the money it's made. You know, of course, over 22 years,
right?
But still, like, you would figure that, you know, somebody would be coming around like, hey, let me help you out here. Let me give you some direction here to help you really, because he's like, it seems like you know where you're going with your writing.
Right.
You know, they're like, and obviously he's not received that help. Obviously he's not tried to write anything. Like, it's just like, is he really stuck on that? Is he stuck on The Room?
Let's see what else Tommy has done here. Because I know he has been in there's that poster, like the real poster of The Room.
Yeah. Let's
see if we've got, so right now it's got, he was born, it says he's 69 years old. No, I don't know if that's true, but that's what the Wikipedia says. It says in 2010, he gave an interview, and he gave an age which would indicate he was born in 1968 or 1969. But friend Greg claims in 2013 memoir, The Disaster Artist, which is the movie is based upon, that his brother's girlfriend obtained copies of Tommy's U.S. immigration papers and found that he was born much earlier than he claimed in an Eastern Bloc country in the mid to late 50s. So that's all
about my grandmother's age.
So that's all we really know. And
wow, that's.
So he's made himself be mysterious.
Yeah.
On purpose. But he's a featured villain in the movie A Samurai Cop #2, Deadly Vengeance. And it's the sequel to the cult classic Samurai Cop.
Right? Samurai Cop?
Yep. Part 2. He's in Part 2. He's the villain. Part 2.
Oh, so he finally went and played a villain, did he?
He's also in a 2010 15-minute parody called The House That Drips Blood on Alex.
Poor Alex.
And in 2019, he showed a teaser trailer for a second movie called Big Shark.
Dang.
So he's made another movie, Big Shark, because they had the world premiere April 2nd, 2023.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are that? Is it theaters? What do we get? Limited.
Limited. It looks like. Now the poster of Big Shark has a picture of a shark's mouth and its face, and it says Big Shark, directed by Tommy Wiseau at the bottom. That's it. So he's actually doing other things. So
well,
interesting. I wonder if we can see his net worth. You think we can find that out?
Let's hope so. I want to check. I want to see what man's able to just be like, whatever it takes.
Now, according to this
man was literally he was seriously willing to make a movie that possibly he could have just lost millions on, and he couldn't have gave no.
Now this says, now I don't know if I believe this, but this says he's only worth $4 million.
Yeah, no.
So when he spent $6 million on The Room, I say
$6 million.
he's got to be worth more than
$6
that.
million and caught a bottomless pit. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, if you caught a bottomless pit, I would say you've at least got to be worth.
My guess is they're probably picking up on like just the earnings from The Room.
That's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm guessing. His Hollywood money.
Yeah.
Because there's speculation that his money was made in real estate. Now, I've not really seen anything that, like facts, but everything I've read has claimed that.
You know, if you ask me, where he does give off that Dutch accent, it's kind of like giving off that one of his parents might have been rich.
Yeah.
Or might have got rich off the war or something.
Could have been. Could have been.
Point. And whenever they passed, he inherited it.
Could be. Now, what did you think about the soundtrack or the score to this movie?
I'll be honest. I quite really didn't pay too much attention to the music. The story just really had me pulled in a lot.
Right. Now it didn't have like the traditional score that we talk about, but it did have a couple of sound. Let's see right here. It had a couple of songs that I noticed were being played. We had the "Never Gonna Give You Up" song.
Oh yeah.
We have "Good Vibrations" by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Played. "Rhythm of the Night" played at one point.
I think it played. I think it played a couple times. It might have played like towards the end.
Yeah,
and I think somewhere in the middle.
And then we had. I mean, I thought the music was okay for the movie, but like you said, I was more invested in the actual movie. But there wasn't much score. We opened up the show tonight with a little bit of score, but it was mainly this kind of music, like actual songs.
Not any electronic.
Yeah. So I think we had "Can't Get You Out of My Head" by Kylie Minogue played at one point. So I thought the music was okay. I mean, it fit for the movie. Originality. I thought this was a pretty original story to tell.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And because typically you'll have like movies where they're against all odds they achieve their dream or whatever.
It's not very often you hear a movie based off true events about a guy making his own movie that actually just turns out to eventually be a success.
Yeah, because would they have made a movie had Tommy Wiseau's movie failed? Didn't get this cult following.
Yeah, would this happen if he would have made anybody else but Greg?
Exactly. Good point. And Greg, now I know Greg has been in movies, but Greg is not a name that anybody would even know, to be honest with you.
I don't know.
I don't even know his last name. I know it's like a long last name. Starts with an S, I think.
Yeah, it's like
but I don't know it right off.
We got it right here. Hold on, where is it at?
Greg Sestero?
See, there's Greg Sestero, yeah.
Sestero. All right, so I'm going to go on his IMDb really quick here and see what else Greg Sestero has been in. And I could see why they have Dave Franco play him. I could see that.
Oh, Seth Rogen's character is the one with the odd,
the odd name.
Longer, yeah, it's Schklair.
Okay.
Schklair.
Now I'm looking now to see if there's anything that Greg has been in that I've heard of. Now he's been in a lot. I mean, there is a lot. He is a casting agent, uncredited, in this movie, The Disaster Artist. And he's been in, I mean, it looks right here from his IMDb, 38 things. But other than The Room or The Disaster Artist, he's in Big Shark as well.
Cool.
I've never heard of any other. Days of Our Lives. He does one episode. He plays He's an uncredited role in the Robin Williams movie called Patch Adams.
Oh, wait, what?
Patch Adams?
He's an uncredited role in that?
Yep, he plays...
I love that movie.
That's a good movie.
That's another one based on a true story.
He's in an episode of a show called Nash Bridges from the 90s.
That sounds familiar.
It's got Cheech Marin and Don Johnson.
Cheech Marin. No, that's funny. I didn't know he was doing sitcom TV.
So Greg has done some things, and but I guess not a huge star, but he's living the dream. What about the poster? When I sent you that, did that pretty much make you be like, I'm looking forward to this? Like, was that a...
Yes. Yeah, really, like I said, I seen the three big names, Dave Franco, James Franco, and Seth Rogen, and I was immediately like, okay, yeah.
Because that's what you said, I think.
And one thing I will differentiate about it is like, okay, so like you're looking at it and you can tell like that is so obviously, James and Dave right there, but
right.
Like in the movie there was times that like I couldn't tell that was James Franco.
Me too. Like right there you can, because I thought that same thing, but in the especially like when he starts talking or even his movements.
Yeah.
Especially when he has those glasses on too, because he wears those sunglasses quite a bit in the movie, and in real life he does too.
I mean, it blew my mind. I think he really did well embodying like who Tommy was.
I think so too. I really do.
The only difference is I think James might just be like a little more slender,
right,
in some features, but
and
like
in shape, because Tommy didn't seem to be quite as probably in shape as.
Yeah, I mean that's just it's a Hollywood actor too. Though.
Yeah,
so
true.
You said this movie came out 2017.
Yep.
What else was James Franco doing around that time?
I'm trying. He did that Great and Powerful Oz movie around that time.
It probably required him to be in shape.
He was in Spring Breakers. Did you watch Spring Breakers?
I did.
2012.
Yeah.
Pineapple Express was 2008.
It had Selena Gomez in it. That's
a good one. I mean, I saw that at the theater. That was a good experience. That was a fun movie to see at the theater. A quick story to that. We went to see Spring Breakers, my friend Nicole and I, but she knew we were going to go watch a James Franco movie, but she thought we were going to watch The Great and Powerful Oz because it was out at the same time, I think.
Oh, that's funny.
So when we went to the theater, the way Spring Breakers starts with all the stuff on the beach, and then she was like, "Wait, this isn't Great and Powerful Oz." I said, "No." I said, "This is the other James Franco movie, Spring Breakers." And
but she got upset, didn't she?
She was like, "This is not what I thought we were going to go watch." I said, "Well, we're here now, so we got to watch it." But yeah, it was a fun experience. Would you or would you not recommend The Disaster Artist?
I would.
I would too.
Absolutely would. It was a really great movie.
I do too. I think it's a good movie. It's a good movie in itself. I think all the performances. I don't think there's a weak performance in the movie.
No.
I think everyone does top-notch job. It's funny. It's dramatic. It's got some touching moments.
It's funny because that moment. Okay, the character that Zac Efron was playing in the movie, Chris R.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only name we got, Chris R. Chris R. It was so wild, and I guess I may not have been paying too much attention, but I did not know that was him at first. I did not know that was Zac Efron playing that character until they're like at the premiere.
Because it shows him a little more clearly at the because he's not in it all that much, is he? Just a couple scenes.
Yeah.
Not 3 scenes at most.
Something like
not
that.
Many.
Not many.
So yeah, I would definitely recommend The Disaster Artist. Like I said, I'd only watched it once before last night. I rewatched it last night, and I was, really glad that I watched it again. It made me smile and it made me laugh.
It did me too. I really enjoyed it.
So yeah, I think everyone should give it a chance. Go check it out. It's on Max right now. It's about an hour and 45 minutes or so.
So, I think see here. I believe Max says 144.
Okay, and that's a quick 144. I think it's a good pace.
Yeah.
I didn't think any part of the movie drug. I thought it's it keeps you entertained. And if you don't know about The Room, it's kind of so wild that they're making a movie, because The Room is a made movie for those that you all haven't caught on. So just to see how they go about making that movie, The Room, was fun to watch in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a behind the scenes movie.
Yeah, it pretty much is. And so you want to do? You have any ideas for anything you want to do next week?
I've been thinking on them a little bit.
Which you don't have to decide tonight. I had if we wanted to go Christmas themed at all, and in the 90s, I thought about Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, that would be a really good one.
You want to do Jingle All the Way?
I wouldn't care to do that one. I know
because I've not seen it in quite some time, to be honest with you, and it's also it's on Hulu.
I know Lexi and our friend Jared watched it the other day.
Okay.
And they did. I used to have that on VCR growing up, and I watched it all the freaking time. I love it. I love it so much. It's a really good movie.
I got to be honest with you. I've not seen it I'd say I've not seen it probably. I saw it in the theater, and I'd seen it about 10 years ago. So it's been about 10 years.
Wow.
So I have it on DVD, but it's on Hulu again. I canceled Hulu a while back. But they had a Black Friday sale the other day where Hulu for a year for only 99 cents a month.
Wow.
So if you need Hulu, just let me know. But yeah, we're going to be diving into Jingle All the Way next week. And it was a good show tonight, man. What'd you say?
I said that'll be a really good
It
one.
will be. It will be. So you all have a good night, and see you next time. See you, David.
See you. You guys take it easy.